Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into what is basically your brain's ultimate hardware upgrade. We're going to explore the incredible science of neuroplasticity and how you can literally rewire your mind to boost your intelligence. But before we get into the how, I want to set the stage with some awe-inspiring numbers that show just what the human brain is truly capable of.
160. So what's that? Well, this staggering number is actually the estimated intelligence quotient, or IQ, of the absolute legend himself, Albert Einstein. It's a number that has culturally become completely synonymous with absolute genius.
But then we jump up to a jaw-dropping 198. This absolutely massive score, it belongs to Sir Isaac Newton. I mean, these historical figures represent the absolute pinnacle of human cognitive potential, and they set a really fascinating benchmark for what the brain can achieve.
But wait, check out 162. This isn't some historical figure from hundreds of years ago. This is the IQ score of a young Indian girl named Anushka Dixit. She actually outscored Einstein. And to put all these genius-level numbers into perspective for a second, the global average IQ hovers right around 100. According to a report by World Data Info, the average IQ in India is currently around 81, which places it at the 120th position globally. It's definitely a stark contrast. But here is the crucial takeaway. No matter where your number sits today, it absolutely doesn't have to stay there.
All right, here is our roadmap for today. First, the high IQ fascination. Then, decoding your intelligence quotient. Next, we'll look at how neuroplasticity upgrades your brain, then lay out a practical brain workout plan, and finally, wrap up with the power of self-control.
Section 1. The high IQ fascination. Why intelligence matters. So, why on earth are we so obsessed with increasing these numbers anyway? Well, having a higher IQ directly translates to real-world advantages. Individuals with higher IQs generally perform better academically, have a significantly higher chance of overall success, and possess much sharper learning and problem-solving powers. And because they can navigate complex challenges a bit more smoothly, they often earn higher incomes compared to their peers. It just makes navigating life's hurdles a whole lot easier.
Section 2. Decoding your intelligence quotient. What is IQ, really? Okay, before we go trying to upgrade our brains, we kind of need to know what exactly we are upgrading, right?
You know, a lot of folks mistakenly think intelligence is just having a photographic memory or being a walking encyclopedia of trivia, but that's not it at all. Real intelligence is your capacity to learn brand new information, hold on to it, and then actually use it as a foundation to solve novel problems. It's not a static hard drive, it's your brain's processing power and adaptability. Historically, IQ gets measured using a pretty simple formula. You take your mental age, because, hey, some people are way more mentally mature than their physical years suggest. You divide it by your chronological age, which is your normal birth age, and multiply that by 100. Easy enough, right? But for the longest time, scientists honestly thought whatever number you got was just carved in stone. Section 3. Neuroplasticity. Upgrading your brain. The myth versus the muscle. This brings us to a massive scientific paradigm shift that basically changes everything we thought we knew about intelligence.
For decades, the old myth was that once you hit adulthood, boom, your intellectual capacity and your IQ were permanently fixed. You were stuck with what you had. But modern science has totally debunked this. The incredibly empowering reality is neuroplasticity. That means your brain is entirely capable of modifying its neural connections continuously throughout your whole life. You need to think of your brain exactly like a muscle in your body.
So neuroplasticity is basically your brain's superpower. It's the ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections. The areas of your brain responsible for movement, memory, logical reasoning, and emotions, they can actually expand and thicken with use, or, well, they can shrink. It's exactly like going to the gym. If you stop going, your physical muscles waste away. If you don't exercise your neural connections, your memory weakens and your cognitive functions actively decline. Section 4. The Brain Workout Plan. Practical exercises to upgrade your mind. Okay, if the brain is a muscle, how do we actually hit the neuro gym? Let's look at a totally actionable workout plan drawn straight from the research to start physically altering and strengthening those neural connections. And keep in mind, just like building a great physique, this takes consistent practice over time. Workout number 1, the 5 senses imagination technique. Listen, we face a massive problem today. We spend hours just staring at digital screens, TVs, laptops, phones. Everything is visualized for us. We don't really have to think or imagine anymore.
And because of this, our visualization muscles have gotten incredibly lazy. We've basically outsourced our imagination to our smartphones. And research into neuroplasticity shows our five senses are directly connected to our memory and cognitive functions.
To combat this screen-induced laziness, you actually need to consciously daydream. Think about when you sleep and your dreams feel insanely real with all your senses firing, you need to do that while you're awake. For 15 to 45 minutes every single day, visualize a specific goal or an idea you have. Imagine it so vividly that you can see it, hear the sounds around it, and even smell the environment. Every great invention, from the car to the airplane, started as a vivid visualization in someone's mind. By doing this, you're forcing different dormant areas of your brain to light up and work together. And studies show that doing this daily can improve your information reading ability and concentration span in just 2 to 4 weeks.
Moving on to our next exercise, Workout 2, Brain Harmonics and Audio Syncing. You have probably seen those study music or brain power audio tracks online and thought, does that stuff actually work? Well, Dr. Siegfried Othmer, former president of a neurofeedback division, ran this truly fascinating experiment. He had participants listen to specific combinations of wavelengths, brain harmonics, while meditating regularly. The results were mind-blowing. Since the human brain is split into two hemispheres that operate differently, these specific sounds are designed to basically sync both sides up to work as a team. Participants who listened to these tracks for 30 minutes, 4 days a week, saw an average IQ bump of 23%. It actively helps forge those new neural connections.
Next up is Workout 3, the Novelty Challenge. Doing the exact same routine every single day is literally the enemy of a high IQ. To build your brain's hardware, you have to lift heavy. And in the brain's case, heavy lifting means doing something completely, entirely new. American psychologist Richard Heyer wanted to see what happens when the brain encounters a brand new activity. So, he had people who had never played the video game Tetris play it for the very first time. As they struggled to learn it, their brains were burning massive amounts of energy. Glucose levels spiked, and over weeks of training, their cerebral cortex actually thickened. Neural connections were just exploding. But look what happens next. Once they mastered the game, their brains basically just put their feet up and got lazy. Glucose levels dropped because the brain didn't have to work hard anymore. The big takeaway? You must constantly seek out new challenges. Learn an instrument, take a new route to work, try a crazy new hobby, because once a task becomes easy, your brain stops growing. Section 5, the power of self-control, the final upgrade. This last component is perhaps the absolute toughest, but it is incredibly vital for protecting and utilizing that upgraded brain of yours.
Turns out, intelligence and self-control are deeply intertwined. A 2008 study gave participants an IQ test and offered them a choice. Take a small reward immediately after the test, or wait a bit and get a much larger reward later. The researchers found a massive correlation. The group who exhibited self-control and delayed their gratification consistently scored significantly higher on the IQ tests than those who demanded immediate gratification.
Which leads us to this really powerful quote by Roy L. Smith. The sign of intelligent people is their ability to control emotions by the application of reason. Having a high IQ isn't just about quick math. It means keeping your mind and your emotions in full check. If you know a decision or an action is wrong for you, a truly intelligent brain uses reason to override that immediate emotional pressure, regardless of what everyone else around you is doing. Practicing strict self-control directly exercises and protects your intellectual capacity. So we have seen the sheer power of neuroplasticity. We know your brain is quite literally a muscle waiting to be trained, and you have the tools now. Will it be the 5 senses imagination technique to rebuild your focus? Will you try audio syncing with brain harmonics? Are you going to challenge yourself with a completely novel activity? Or are you going to start by mastering your own self-control? The science proves your intelligence is absolutely not fixed, so I will leave you with this. Which brain workout will you start today to upgrade